You got problems. You need to get straight. You need a therapist. You know what you need? You need a therapist.
Hi guys, welcome back to You Need a Therapist podcast. It's your girl Ray.
And it's me, Kayana.
Hi. Thank y'all for tuning in to last week's well, not even last week's episode, but if you did tune in to last week's episode, thank you because that was the episode we felt we needed to run back. And we were kind of busy, so you know what happened when
Life
life
is
be
life,
life.
and y'all. Yes.
Yes. So we just gonna keep rolling with the punches. But for the opening episode of honestly this year, because that was the first episode we did for the year. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a lot of great feedback. Um, a lot of people like took something from that episode. I don't know. Did you get any feedback from your side about
I don't have enough followers, so
I mean,
so
but even from friends that might
um
listen.
yeah, actually I do have one guy that I think he's local. He hit me up. We actually met on Hinge and we just couldn't link up or whatever. But he actually was saying that he did listen to the episode
Mm,
and that he's currently going through like a caregiver situation where he's having to take care of someone. He didn't give me any details or anything because I don't know this guy that well.
mhm.
Um, but he was saying that, he listened to the episode and that it was helpful. So I lied. I did have somebody reach out.
See,
Yeah.
and that's what this is about, even if it's just one person that connected with it. But it seemed like there were a lot of people who kind of connected with that episode. Look at your damn cat. Anyways, moving on. I get distracted so easily by him. A catch up. Let's talk about what's been happening. I guess this past week. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what's been happening.
What's been going on with you? You go first.
Girl, work. Not doing that. Not doing that.
Mhm.
Let's just say I'm really happy or whatever, but work is definitely just work, child. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole because I realize honestly it's just to get a paycheck and try to figure out what am I trying to do until I retire, honestly. So this is I think I have to change my mindset. I'm changing my mindset to my job is going to fuel my passion. This is what's going to give me the time and the flexibility to fuel my passion.
And
So
the
when I'm
resources.
done, and the resources. So when I'm
Mhm.
done with this job, that I can really do or figure out, or have already figured out what my passion is or passions are. Honestly, I think it's going to be passions because I feel like I'm not that type of person to like focus on one thing. I think it's a multitude of things and they all make me happy. I don't think it's a particular goal or objective to it, but I don't know. That's where I'm at with life. But other than that, that's it.
I really just want to say that I am very proud and happy for you this chapter of your life right now because you have not been content over the past, I don't know how long, year, 2 years. Um, you just haven't been in a good place as far as your career goes, but you're actually now getting the courage and taking the steps to explore different things and explore different avenues to try to figure out what makes you happy and then one how you can monetize and make money off of this whatever it is. And I'm happy that you are having this change in mindset because when if anybody feel you, I feel you on the desire
Mhm.
to stop now because it is hard. This lifestyle is difficult, this job is difficult. And but at the point where we're at, like, I don't want to say it's not worth it because your sanity and your mental health is definitely worth it if it is at that extreme for you. But I don't know if you're there yet. And I think that
Mhm.
just a shift in perspective will help get you to the finish line. And so I am proud of you for doing these different things that you've been tapping into.
Yeah, I'm definitely a shift in perspective and actually shift in what I'm currently doing with work. So I'm trying my best to venture out of what I'm currently doing so that I can have some reprieve, like so I can feel like I'm starting over, because it does feel like every time I do move or start over, like I get this reset button to where I don't feel as heavy as I was before.
Hmm.
So if I can do that for the next 7 years,
Yeah, and we're
I'm
good.
good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, and I can retire and rid my hand of this, to be honest. Some people be scared to let this thing go. It's not that I'm wouldn't be scared to let it go. The security in it maybe, but the actual job, fuck, I'm
And
good.
in this next 7 years, set yourself up financially where that security, it is not, you're not threatened
Don't
by
even
it
scare me.
by not having
Right.
it there, because you're gonna be
Mhm.
good. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
What about you, friend?
well, I have been traveling. I was out of town for the past 2 weeks in Virginia Beach, my old stomping grounds, for some work stuff. And my time there, I enjoyed myself. I got to see some old friends, go to some of my favorite places in the area, and just chill, just take a break. But I was very ready to get back home. Like, I was very ready, especially that last little stretch. I was like, I'm ready to go home.
Mm.
Um, let's see. I went to DC last night, do a little turn up party with the girls for a little trick or treating. Little,
Tell us about that.
it was fun. So we dressed up. We were the Gotham girls. We were the villains of Batman. We had a Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and I was the Joker. Yeah, and I
Mm.
also have an eyelash in my eye that's about to drive me insane. But
Uh-oh.
but yeah, it was a good time. We had fun. Love hanging out in DC. Love hanging out with the girls. And mentally, I'm actually in a pretty decent headspace. I
Good.
did go see my therapist again, old Cedric, and we chopped it up. We're still in those beginning phases of the therapy where we're still establishing like the client therapist relationship, and he's learning more about me. This last session though was a complete vent session. Like I just had to vent and get some shit off my chest, and it wasn't anything necessarily bad. It was just me knowing what I want out of relationships and knowing what aligns with me, and
Mhm.
knowing that when things don't align and I notice it, like nipping it in the bud right away. Just something that I am still working on. But acknowledging that, and certain aspects, it's easy for me to let things go, especially when I know that it's not the healthiest relationship to have. So I've
Mhm.
done so much work on myself over these past years. Like I say, like past 2 to 3 years, that nobody is about to play with me. Period. Like, period. And I have to
Because
get
we
in this
deserve.
mindset where it's like I have to be just as protective over myself as like I would be with you or any of my other friends. Cause like if I see someone, be like, oh hell no, like you're not about to play with my friend. Like,
Right.
and
Why is it so easy for us to like,
go to bat for other people, but not for ourselves. I don't know. Yeah.
what is that?
What is that? Because I'll be quick to
I
be ready to fight somebody. What, bitch? No. And I need to have
Yes,
that same energy when it comes to myself. When I notice somebody playing with me,
first.
bitch, exactly. And it's crazy that
First.
we have this mentality when it comes to other people, family, friends, and things. But like sometimes people struggle with doing the same things for themselves.
Yeah.
And so that was the energy that I was on during my last therapy session. And it was good.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. Well, you want to go ahead and jump into the let's unpack this?
Absolutely. All right. So let me pull up the Reddit. All right. So here we go. Let's unpack this. I, 23-year-old female, am a very private person and have been dating a guy, 35 male, for 4 years. That's kind of a gap. Um
Yeah, don't get me started
for
on
four
that conversation.
years.
That's a
Girl,
different
okay.
conversation.
The issue I have here is that he overshares information about us to his family who I'm not close with. information as in my life, our sex life, positions, when, where, how, etc., my body, our fights, my position on politics, etc. They ask, he tells. Actually, sometimes they don't even ask and he tells anyway, usually when I'm not present. Just
Mm.
recently, he was over at his family's apartment and they asked him, sorry if this is TMI, what do I do with my pubes and what it looks like down there for me? To which I thought,
Wait, what?
yes. To which I thought that's pretty fucking weird and they don't even know me like that. They always talk about this stuff when I'm not there. When I'm present for his family events, they nod, say hi, and then nobody really talks to me until the end where they say bye. So, like I said, we're
That's not
not
okay.
close. I've told him that his oversharing makes me uncomfortable in the past, as I already am a private person, but he does it anyway. I don't think he thinks about it at the time that he is sharing. The point I'm trying to make is, how do I do damage control? The information is already there. They don't know that I know this, and it makes me uncomfortable. But based on some of the information that he's told them about me, they said that he should break up with me and find someone better.
Oh,
I don't know how to deal with him and his family and friends and their opinions of our relationship. And that is it.
this is what I will say. Know the person that you are dealing with. If he is that type of person, honestly, more than likely, it's probably not going to change. And him changing that would probably make him feel like you're trying to change his relationship with his family. So I feel like, and I feel like I realize people who probably do that are people who like grew up really, really tight with their family and like there's no boundaries with them.
That's the word.
As for me, I didn't grow up that close with my family, so it's a lot of shit that I don't tell them. Like even when I'm dating, like I still don't be telling them I'm dating because I mean, I just feel like until it's like that serious, I'm probably just not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I feel like one, if you do have a problem with it, bring it up to him to see how he feels about it. To see if he's even receptive of hearing what you have to say about it.
But she said that it
Um,
makes her, she told him that it makes her uncomfortable. At this point, it's a
and he's
repeated
still
behavior.
continuing to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's not going to
It's a
change,
pattern of
honestly.
misconduct. You gotta go.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like it's not going to change. But I do think that's super. What all of that the why do y'all need to know, family?
What
Why
is,
are y'all
first of
asking
all,
these
that
questions?
is fucking weird that they ask what her pubes are like and what's that like down there. It's none of your
That's weird.
business. And I want to know what family member asked that. Was it a man
Yeah,
or a woman?
I don't care if it was a man or a woman. What is it to you?
But if it was a man and another man asked my man what my pussy looked like,
You need to feel some type of way about it.
why you okay with answering it?
You need to feel some type of
I
way
don't
about
care
it.
if it's your daddy, your uncle, your uncle brother. I don't care who it is.
Not your uncle
They
brother.
don't need to be known, and you should be offended that they would ask.
That's what I'm saying. You should feel some type of way about it for sure. um, I honestly,
Break up with
I
them.
hate that I be doing this, but yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Leave them, girl. Leave them where you at.
This ain't gonna
Leave them
work.
where you at.
It's not gonna
And you
work.
35
What?
acting
That's
like
who
that.
he is. Yeah, he not about to change. Like when you get to that age, you're not about to change. You're not about to understand what she got to say about it.
No.
That's weird. That's fucking weird. Especially a 23-year-old. Granted, she is grown, but I, as a 33-year-old, would think of a 23-year-old as a child still.
Yeah.
So you talking about a child's pubes? I'm sorry, I had to go there. But I know she's grown, clearly. She is grown. And that was my other, it's a rant. But what does a 35-year-old have in common with a fucking 23 year
Yeah.
old?
For men, I think it is slightly different. However, the gap is way too big for me. The gap is getting on the verge of like Because at that point, I just feel like, especially with a 20-year-old, if
That's
the
what I'm
age gap was
saying.
different and she was in her 30s and he was like in his 40s,
Right.
50s, I would be like, okay, that's cool. Because in your 30s, you're more settled in who you, or should be more settled in your
Trying.
identity and who you are, and
You've had more
less
experiences.
easy
You
to
have more
manipulate.
wisdom. Yeah. You just got off your mama's titty. You don't even have thoughts for yourself right now as a 23-year-old. You don't. You're still trying to figure it out.
The irrational decisions that I was making as a 23-year-old, like what? And to have some 35-year-old man trying to control the narrative, like hell no, absolutely not.
No. That's not a,
Mm-mm.
yeah. Um,
But yeah,
yeah. That's,
so that
mhm.
kind of ties in with today's topic, of course. But I wanted to ask you. So the other day, I was listening to one of your favorite podcasts, Around the Way Curls, and the episode is
I
called
love
"What Is
them.
Sacred." And initially, they are just talking about the stuff that's going over in Gaza, and that's pretty much the entire episode. But the last portion of the episode, when I think they talk about like the pop culture stuff, um, they kind of hit on, and they did not want to get into the whole Will and Jada debacle that's going on right now, with Jada releasing this book and doing these interviews and basically, I guess, cutting Will down from the knees and violating his manhood and making him look like a bitch, or whatever word that the internet has been using, embarrassing this man and all this other stuff. So they didn't want to get into that, but I do want to touch it a little bit. But part of
Mhm.
the episode that, well, the part that they were talking about was this interview that Jada had recently did, and the person that was interviewing her asked her basically, what is sacred in a relationship? And when she said it, she asked
Mm.
follow on questions, and we'll get there. But when she asked it, it kind of like a light bulb went up to me, because what is sacredness within a relationship? And not just
Mhm.
romantic relationships, but any relationship. Like, are there certain things that you should keep to yourself, especially when you are in a marriage? And we've had an episode
Mhm.
about this before, where like privacy and oversharing, but
Oh
there's
yeah.
levels to it. And I think the levels are much different when you're married. And there's this thing with oversharing or telling too much. And especially with this day and age that we live in today, where we have social media, and you see these social media couples posting things, and intimate things that in some people's view should be left in private. Like, why are we sharing some of these things with the world? Just issues in general in the relationship, money, finances, whatever. But also like videos, people be in the bed hugged up, like that's stuff that could be considered intimate and sacred to some, but not to others, obviously, because it's out here for everybody to see.
One of the problems is, I feel like, especially with this social media world, is that people are monetizing off of it,
Hmm.
which that's,
Part of the
yeah, I
issue.
feel like, yeah, that's part of the issue for sure. The oversharing part of it, because people are monetizing off of their relationship. So if they feel like they have to share and overshare things. Um, but I'll let you continue so we can,
Is capitalism the
and I'll
problem?
answer your question. It's always the fucking
Race,
problem. That's
racism
the
and capitalism
foundation.
is always the problem.
That's the
That's just it. End all be
foundation.
all. So, real quick, I
Yeah.
do want to read the definition of sacred. So, connected with God or the gods, or dictation to a religious purpose, so deserving veneration. And veneration,
Say that again.
huh?
Say
Did
that
I?
again.
I fucked that word up, didn't I?
I don't know what you said.
It's
Say it
definitely
again.
dedication. I'm gonna take that part out. Okay, I'm just gonna read the definition really quick to friend. Stop laughing, because we gotta get the clip right. Friend, I was like, wait,
Hold on.
dedication.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
you fucking stop laughing, friend. Okay,
Yeah, hold on.
ready, set, okay. I hate you.
Just
Okay,
go.
real quick, I'm going to read the definition of sacred, and it's connected with God or the gods, or dedication to a religious purpose, so deserving veneration. And veneration is like praise, worship. I can't fucking stand you. Praise and worship. Okay.
Oh,
And so that's the definition, real quick. So, Fran, what does, in the spiritual aspect, not getting into relationships yet, but in the spiritual aspect, what does
okay.
sacred mean to you? Like, what is sacred to you as far as like your spirituality or and how that goes?
Oh my God. Okay,
Get your
hold
shit
on.
together. Get on my fucking nerves. Hmm.
No, bitch, if you would have had your shit together, I had mine together.
Hmm.
Okay. What is sacredness and spirituality?
Or do you have like a sacred, anything sacred in your spiritual world? I guess.
I, I think, good question. I think that the sacredness and spirituality is the intimate relationship that I have with whatever I believe in, the universe. We're going to say the universe because honestly, that's what I believe in more than
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's the universe. It's that relationship, and there shouldn't be anybody in this world to like influence that. Like, bitch, it's spooky season. It's windy. Bitch. Anyway. So yeah, I feel like there shouldn't be people or things that influence that relationship. I think whatever I do, pray, write in the journal, talk to the air, like whatever it is, connect with the earth, put my feet in the
But you ain't
ground.
did that because you be judging me
Like
when I do it.
I
Mm.
do. But I'm iffy about putting
I
my
told you you
feet
need to
in the
go get
grass. It's
grounded.
all
That's what
wet
your ass.
and
That's what the problem is.
it is, and I'm going to. You know what, friend? I wasn't judging you for it. I think I was
Okay.
projecting.
Anyway.
I forgive me. But I think that's the sacred part of it. Like just your intimate relationship that shouldn't like that's just between you and whatever that is. Like whatever you do to feel
Mhm.
connected. That's that's sacred in itself. Because that's what keeps you going, keeps you thriving, keeps you level-headed. Like
Mhm.
that should be sacred.
It
Does that
does.
make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay. Okay. What about you?
For me, I am very spiritual. Religious, no.
Mhm.
Spiritual, absolutely. And I have my practices that I do. One of the things is my space is sacred, right? So I do have a sacred
Mhm.
space. My house is my sacred space, my whole house in general. But
Girl.
within my house, there I have a room. I call it my meditation room, but this guy that I was dating one time said it was my room where I be in there doing spells and shit. He said, "Yeah, I see you in there with them damn chicken bones." I was like, "Nigga, shut up." First, I do not have no fucking chicken bones in my damn closet, so shut up. And if I did,
Yes.
that's my sacred space.
Stay out.
Okay, that is my
Sit
sacred
out. You
space.
shouldn't have been peeking your head in
Okay, mind your
anyway.
business. But
Mm.
but no, that is my space. That is where I go to connect with God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. That is where I go to pray and clear my head. If I'm sad, if I am happy, like whatever, that's where I go. One of the things though that one of the ladies that I follow, who is a spiritual teacher, Queen Poe, love Queen Poe.
Mm.
Um, she does touch on this a little bit where she is a great teacher and she shares so much information as far as like African traditional religions, hoodoo, Christianity, like all religions she teaches on that. And one of the things that when she does teach is that certain things like she won't show that's her personal stuff, right? So she has like a crystal or something. She'll tell you what crystal to go get, but she won't show her own personal crystal, right? On the internet or on when she's teaching.
Mm.
Or she'll have like I don't know. That's the crystal is the only thing I'm thinking, or like how you should set up your altar. Like if you have a spiritual altar or ancestor altar, she'll tell you what to do, but she's not about to show you her altar because that's sacred. And so, yes, it is known. These practices are known. These sacred things should be known, but how you do it and when you do it is one of those things that should be kept sacred and should be kept private. If that makes sense.
One of the things, yeah, that makes sense. So one of the
Girl, my
things I
mic
just
just
thought
fell.
about, and I've never been this type of person, but one of the things I thought about with social media people is, and I don't know in particular a specific person, but I've seen where like they won't show their bedroom because they feel like their bedroom is a
Yeah, and it
sacred place.
is.
So they feel uncomfortable showing their bed and all that stuff. And I never, like me personally, I'm like, I'm not married or anything. And so my bedroom isn't necessarily a
Yeah.
sacred place. Like,
Girl, my mic falling. Hold on. Keep talking.
whatever.
I'm sorry. I just gotta fix it.
Okay. No, you're fine. But no, that's what I was gonna say. Like in similarity to what you were talking about with Queen Poe, how she'll tell you about her crystal, but she won't
Yeah.
show it to you. Um, Seeing people on how we were just talking about how people are like in the bed showing those
Yeah.
intimate moments with them and their spouse or whatever in their bed, like or a bed or whatever, and sharing it with the world. Yeah, I don't think I will ever be that type of
Honestly, I
person.
don't either. There have been times like, yeah, you said like we record and we might be in our room or whatever. But once again,
I got to. That's my
I'm not in a
desk.
relationship. I don't have, but maybe if I have a partner, like maybe I wouldn't share that space with the whole internet to see, you
Mm.
know,
I don't think I would share it like me and my
in that
partner
space.
in
Yeah.
the space. Yeah.
Um,
Because I've definitely posted me in the
I
bed
have
by
to.
myself
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, whatever. But like me and my partner in the bed on the internet, no, I'm not doing that. I'm honestly, I might not even, I barely probably
Why
show
you
them on the
playing?
internet.
Why you playing?
Just know I love you.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be an understanding between me and future
Yeah.
bae.
Yeah, Lala has this little video going around talking about some how do you feel about sharing your partner on the internet? Is like that a requirement?
I
Like do
seen
you
that.
have to do that or like so how do you feel about
Honestly,
it?
I don't think it's a I don't think it should be a requirement to show my partner on social media. I will make it known that I have a partner, but as far as like having to
Right.
broadcast or show them off, like I don't even show my kid on social media. And so, and it's not because I don't want anybody to know I'm not a parent or anything like that, but it's just for privacy reasons. Like I don't put my child on social media because niggas are weird,
Sacred.
sacred. Like that is
That's
like now
sacred.
when I was young, I did. Just because I was young, I was in a different space. But as I've gotten older and matured,
Excited.
mm-mm, I don't put my child on the
Yeah.
internet.
You realize niggas is weird. I'm about to turn this
Okay.
heater towards me, sorry.
Um. So yeah, it's
Cause bitch, when did it
no for
turn
real.
cold?
But no, but there's just certain things that are sacred to me or that are very special to me, and I don't want to share with you niggas because why? For y'all to
Exactly.
talk shit?
No.
Like no. Um. So next, okay. So some of the questions that they asked in that interview, moving on from like the I guess the religious or the spiritual aspect of it. Um. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
questions that they asked is something only sacred when it is private.
I think there are I think there are levels to it. I think something could still be sacred even if it's shared. Like how you were saying with Queen Poe. Queen Poe still shares how to make your altar, but she's not showing you what her
Hmm.
altar is. So like there's levels to the amount of
Yeah.
sharing or whatever. Even with religion, Like I can share with you my religion, but I don't need to share like my relationship with
Yeah.
it. You know? Um so yeah, I do think that things can still be sacred even if it is shared. I like even with relationships on the internet, we can still share parts of our relationships, but we don't have to share everything. I don't need to see you in your bed.
Kissing and
I
making
don't need
out
to
and doing all
see.
that, like that's very
Yeah.
intimate and very private.
Yeah. Yeah. I like especially child, especially when you only showing the
And then
good.
too, like I don't do you have to validate your love? Or it almost seems like you're trying to prove to the world how in love you are with this person by
Mm.
showing it off to everyone. And who's to say I ain't got no man. Maybe I get a man and I'm gonna be wanting to show that man to everybody. I don't know. So maybe we're coming off from a different perspective and maybe need to look at it from a different light because who knows? You might find a man who be like, nah, this my woman. I'm gonna show her to the world. Y'all gonna see her, you know? And so maybe we're looking at it from like a single woman's perspective and not
But I have dated men who, like, on that aspect, have wanted to be like, show me
mm-hmm.
off and stuff. But I'm like,
Yeah. And did he, whoever that was, or the
I'm good on it.
people that was, did they feel a way about it, or were they respectful?
I they kept the memories to themselves and did not post them. But I still don't know if they felt some type of way about that because I can see how someone would feel some type of
hmm
way about that when they are probably a person who would love to share things that they with a person that they love or a person that
Yeah,
they like, right? And then now you're stifling me because you're telling me no, don't share it. Um, so I can see how that can be like stifling
yeah,
or conflicting. Um, I don't know, but I do feel like that's an invasion sometimes, like especially when we're just supposed to. I'm a person like put the
yes,
fucking phone away. Like let's just enjoy the moment. Why do you have to? I get it, like record, share, but keep it for
yeah.
yourself or whatever. Like you don't have
If
to
if
share.
niggas seen
You
the
don't have to post
files in
it
the
on the internet.
phones of all the pictures and videos of crazy shit that we do, like that will never get seen by anybody
Girl.
other than outside of our friend group, like no.
And we say it out loud. This ain't go. We're not
This is
posting
for
this.
the
This is just
group.
for the
And then
for
certain
the
shit,
file.
like you got to
Yeah.
get permission before you be like, "Hey, girl, is this good if I post this?" Like, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
something that we do. Like, maybe that's I don't know. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's not. Maybe other people do that. But one quick
Uh,
thing in regards to the situation with Will and Jada, do you think that this question, like, is their marriage and stuff still sacred, even though Jada has been clearly oversharing some of the things that have gone on within their relationship? Do you think it's still some sacredness there?
I think, granted, I have not been keeping up with everything. I think the last thing I caught up with was the
Um,
entanglement child. And I think to a certain extent, they have kept their relationship sacred because what Jada has said that they've been divorced or
and we
separated
just
for however
and
long,
we just now
and
found
nobody
out.
fucking knew. So there are aspects of their relationship that are sacred that we will never understand, that we don't need to understand because it's not our relationship. So we don't have
Mhm.
to agree with it. And clearly, Will is an active participant in it, no matter how much people are saying he's being a bitch or a pussy or Jada is using him and walking all over him. Will is a grown man and an active participant in the things that him and Jada have been doing. Period. So I don't think Will is a like that's somebody he loves. Like he has made a commitment to this woman and they've made a commitment to each other to operate how
Yeah.
they've been operating. And nothing seems to be a surprise for anyone. I think the only surprise was that fucking slap that Will went up and did to Chris Rock in the moment that they were separated cuz why you talk about something? Don't talk about my wife, and nigga, we separate.
Even that though,
Um,
even that, that's still the mother of his
mhm,
kids. That's still somebody that he loves and cares
right.
for. That's his friend.
Love.
Outside of all that other bullshit, that's his friend.
Mhm,
And I'd be damned if I was sitting
mhm.
right there and my friend, somebody just came and talked about my friend bald head and she going through some shit and I don't do nothing to say nothing about it. Like, especially like if you the dynamic of their relationship, like it don't matter if they was married, divorced, or
Yeah,
not. That's what's wrong with some of you niggas. Y'all so damn bitter about your ex boo or your baby mama. You don't want to sit up there and defend that woman, but that's you still gotta y'all are connected in some way, and you should just be as protective
ties.
over her as if you was when you was with her. Is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
Yeah,
ain't no way. I would expect for my child's father, if somebody was talking to me crazy, for him to stand up and be like, "Nigga, what?" And we ain't got shit. He got a wife. Like,
yeah. But
yes.
that's family. Like we're family.
And niggas are
Yeah,
mad because he
yeah.
did that. No, he should have done that. Like he should have come, maybe not went up and slapped Chris Rock. Maybe he shouldn't have done it, but he should have protected her and stood up for her.
Yes,
Like, y'all
yes,
niggas weird.
yes.
AF.
Yeah, for
Y'all are
child.
weird. Because that's what any
Yes.
man should have done in that situation. Move it on.
Uh-uh.
Okay. I guess we kind of hit on this a little bit too. Can something remain sacred if it has been shared publicly? Kind of the same damn questions, but
I
yeah, I
for
agree. I think
sure.
they
Yeah.
can.
I personally believe so. Like I said, it's the extent of what you're sharing, is the levels of what you're sharing. You can still talk about your relationship and not show you being in the bed. You can talk about the ways that you and your person have stayed connected or whatever it is and not
Overdo it.
overdo it. Yeah, that's what it is. Some of y'all niggas be overdoing it. It's like,
Because I
okay,
think
we did not need to
it's
see this.
social media.
We don't need to see you in the
In the
bathroom on the
tub.
counter
Dude,
kissing it
record the moments. Have
for
the
content.
memories. Content. Y'all trying to make $1, which is cool. If that's your thing, whatever. I guess I just got to look at it, right? I'll unfollow or block. But like, make your money, I guess. Or if you're not making money, if you regular Joe Schmo and you showing all this shit and you only got 200 followers, then it's for validation to me, in my opinion, at that point.
But how do you feel about couples that like, because this is a ick for me. I remember people telling me like, "Oh yeah, let's be a YouTube couple." Like, nigga, that's
Find
not
somebody else
me.
to
You got
do
the
it.
wrong bitch. The wrong one. I'm not trying to be no YouTube couple. What? Nigga, I don't even know if I like you that much to be a fucking what? That's what's wrong with a lot of
It's
fucking
just for
relationships.
show.
Y'all trying to monetize off your relationship instead of just fucking trying to like the person and know the person. Y'all are trying to monetize off the relationship. That's fucking weird. Now, I feel like if you have a strong foundation in your relationship and it's stable, if it's stable and you're able to monetize off the relationship, I get that. But even with that, like sharing certain things, I don't need you sharing everything. I don't need to see you and him in the shower trying to get ready. Like,
Hmm.
I don't need to see all that. I don't. I am okay with y'all sharing the trials and your tribulations that you have been through and sharing parts of it and the
In order
lesson
to
and
help
how you
someone
got
else
through
that
it.
may be
I'm
going through a
okay with
similar
that.
situation.
In order to help. That seems more genuine than you showing y'all showering in the morning or you on the counter and he kissing you down. Like that shit is okay, that's cool, but like then what after that?
Yeah,
Then what?
I
I feel
guess
like I'm
maybe
projecting, but whatever.
we really don't know what we're talking about, y'all. We just here. Switching
We all over
gears
the place.
though, sacredness within the relationship. So one of the things that I do want to touch on, because I want to touch on the topic of like virginity and men marrying women that are virgins because they are quote unquote pure sacred, you know?
Can't
Like,
relate.
I'm trying to figure out how that ties in with it. Like, is that something that I guess men consider to be sacred? Is a woman's body, or like,
So yeah, so we can tie it into like how men think about body count. So
yeah.
I feel like I know. I feel like virgins are definitely rare to come across,
Hmm.
especially at our age now. I do know some virgins, but like I think it's very rare for them for men to come across this day and age. However, I would probably think of it as like a low body count and how men think about body counts
You're less
because
sacred the
um
more
they feel
men
like
you have slept with. Mm.
yes, for sure. For sure. And I don't get it because it's like, okay, if I'm sacred and you're not sacred because of the amount of women you slept with, because to me, that means you're not sacred. If you slept with, I get it that you're a man and like what do they be saying? Like it's harder for them to sleep with women. So it's
Whatever
whatever they be
bullshit.
saying. I don't know. Whatever bullshit it is. But okay, now you've slept with a multitude of your
Hmm.
body count is definitely higher than mine because you're a man. Because the ratio of men to women, I know is higher than mine, right? So I know you're not sacred, but then I'm sacred, right? I have a low body count. And now we're intertwining. Nigga, you are now making me not sacred because you are not sacred.
That
So
negates the whole purpose of it. Unless we're
negates the
both
whole
virgins,
thing.
then
Yeah.
what's the reason?
What is the reason? All that matters to me is like the current
Hmm.
status here and now, our relationship here and now, our sexual status here and
Hmm.
now. That's
I
the
agree with
only thing
you.
that matters to me. Especially we're talking about life partners, somebody to do life with. Why are you so you're headstrong about like maybe the thought process I had in the past. Maybe I did think that I could sleep with anybody and everybody
Hmm.
when I was 22 years old. And maybe I did rack up a high body count, right? But now at 33, I think of it differently. I have not slept with as many people in the last 2 to 3 years as I did
Hmm.
when I was 22 years old. But my body count is still
In the
high because of what
past,
I did
yeah.
when I was 22, 23 years old or whatever. Now my thought process is different. But now you're still judging me off of what has happened in the
About
past, but
what
I'm
has
not
happened in your
judging you.
past. I just want to love you.
Or even within
Yeah.
the last 2 to
I just
3
want to be
years
here present. Yes.
because I'm sure you have slept. Right. I'm sure you have slept with a multitude of women in the last 2 to 3 years. But now you have found me
Mm.
and I have found you. So what
Next
we
question
doing?
though. Do you think sex is sacred?
For some. Okay. Okay, how do I answer this? Do I think sex is sacred? I think it should be sacred. Yes. Um, do I share certain things about my sex life?
Hmm.
I do. Um, but still, even with sharing certain things, like the actual act of it, for me is still sacred, especially depending on the person. I don't
I
know. Girl, I'm
listen. I
drinking.
do,
You
like you
answer the
said.
question.
I do think sex is sacred. I do. Um,
Uh-huh.
and I really want to say this, but I think because the society and the way things are, it's just so casual. I do think that because we just sleep with each other willy nilly and don't care about, or not that we don't care, but it's just much more open. That is why many people have issues in their relationships. because we don't treat sex as
Hmm.
such. And maybe just me and my thinking, I do think sex is sacred. Can you share an experience with someone that you have a connection with and it still be sacred, even though you may not know this person very well because you just don't have the time? Yeah. Like, but you're connected.
I
Yeah.
think moments. Yeah, I think moments
Yeah.
can be very sacred. Like even like you said, even if I don't know you that well, we can definitely have a sacred moment. Like this moment, I feel so connected to you. And then even outside of that, if nothing
We had this
comes of it,
very special
then
moment.
okay.
Yeah.
But like in the moment, yeah, like yeah, and maybe that's why soul ties is a thing, right? Like those moments where I feel we just had an
And speaking on a
energy
spiritual level, that's why I
exchange.
feel like it is sacred, because when you do sleep with someone, that is an energy exchange that is connecting you to this person. Whatever, you don't have to believe me, but regardless, on my woo woo bag, like, you are connected to somebody that you were sleeping to. That's why you have some people that always pop up randomly or always come back, because y'all connected in that way. Like, y'all are tied in that way. You might have somebody that you
Mhm.
constantly think about or whatever, but when you sleep with someone like that, I hope you be ready to be buckled down with this person. Maybe not physically all the time, maybe not emotionally all the time, but you tied to that person. So yeah, I do
Mm,
think, to answer the question, I do think sex is sacred. Um, and I do think
mhm.
that because we don't treat it as such, that is probably why a lot of us struggle with intimate relationships, in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah. Thought I had something to
And
say,
then
but
I,
I
I
don't.
also, I don't want to dig into it because I don't have, I guess, the experience with this, but like open marriages and open relationships, are those relationships still sacred even though you are open? And like, if you're in an open marriage and you're married to your one partner, or you're like a polygamist or whatever, like, are those relationships still considered sacred because you got like other things going on, like?
I think I think every relationship is different. And so what you choose to share with your partner, and what y'all choose to keep to yourselves and how you choose to operate,
Mhm.
that's the sacred part of it. I don't think just because I choose to be monogamous and someone else chooses to be polygamous that one is sacred and the other isn't, because they share this type of thing with other people. I think they still have a sacred part of their
Yeah.
relationship, depending on how they operate. Um, I do think you can still have an open relationship and there still be things that are sacred, because are successful open relationships and how they operate. I think it's all in how you operate within that relationship, because you can be monogamous and it not be sacred, but you can be open
It's a
and
lot
be
of y'all
sacred.
out here that's
It's just
monogamous and not sacred.
honestly, it's a lot of y'all
Be
that's
open.
think y'all
Hey.
monogamous but be open.
Okay.
Anyway,
Hey, shit.
and that's where that
Mm-mm.
sacredness ends,
Baby.
because one is open, one is monogamous. Anyway, um, projecting. I don't know. But I I just think it's you finding your person and operating and how y'all are supposed to, you agreeing how you are agreeing to operate. Like I'm not going to operate with someone who feels like they need to
Like old girl in
overshare,
the Reddit letter.
and I'm
Because
more of a
listen, nigga,
like
don't be telling nobody about my pubes or
that's
the lack
fucking
thereof.
cool,
Don't nobody know what this cat look
girl.
like. It's me and you.
Because why am I going around these people and you've exposed so much of my personal information to them?
And then when I come around, they looking at me like, I know you got that 80s porn bush down there, girl.
Right. They know so much about my personal business, and I know
No.
nothing about them.
And
Like,
we're
that's
not even
weird.
cool.
We not cool.
The
And I
hell?
think okay, so I think that the part of why you said is sex sacred. I think the part that why that there are so many issues in romantic relationships is that we're not communicating with our partners. We're not communicating and creating that sacredness with each other. Like, we're not talking to them and trying to figure out our issues and trying to figure out anything.
Mm.
So, like, I feel like that's part of the why of why romantic relationships are suffering, because we ain't talking to each other. We're talking to everybody else
Social media,
but
Reddit,
each other.
everything
We're looking to social media to fix our relationships. We're
else.
looking to external friends, which I'm not saying all of this is bad, but like, that's like our primary whatever. We're looking to friends, family, everybody else to solve our problems within our relationship instead of talking to our partner and be like, how can we fix this?
Mm-hmm.
Now, after we've talked and we can't figure out how to fix this, and then we look to external whatever together,
And
because I
that's
feel
going to
like it should be
exist in the
together.
form of therapy. It will not be
Yes.
social media. It will be
No.
me and my partner going to get a therapist, a
Yes.
professional
Yes.
to help us figure this out.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
But I think that is the main reason why there are so many issues surrounding romantic relationships. And that's all I have to say. So,
That
should we be
and
wrapping
a
this up?
ton of other BS that, yeah.
What other BS is it, friend?
No, I'm just saying in general, relationships is
Okay.
ghetto. But yeah, I think this is a good discussion. I don't have any
Mhm.
tips for this week, but
Because we
yeah,
are both single.
both single. But I do know that, when the day comes and I do get married, that my marriage will be treated as such and will be sacred. And there is going to be things that the world will not know. There's going to be things that my family and friends don't know, because that
Yeah,
is the
that's what I was
part
about to say.
of a marriage. It's some things do need to be sacred, and some things just do need to be between you and your person, and that's it. There's gonna
We
be
were just
things that's sacred between us that don't nobody else fucking know. Like, and it's just
right.
how it is. That's, I guess, the one of the perks of having these type of relationships. Is that you just have
That's
things
what I was
that you
about
don't
to
share.
say. Like, I feel like we just recently we were talking about how, like, especially in these early dating phases, we talk about certain things with whoever we're dating to our friends or whatever. But like, then at a certain point within the relationship, if we're dating, once it starts progressing, I'm not telling y'all shit,
Yeah, and that's how it
because
should be.
yeah, it should be. And yeah, I feel like, especially the deeper you get within your relationship, okay, now
Hmm.
I don't need to be talking to my friends about certain things. Now this is between me
Because things
and
are
my
getting
person.
serious.
Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah,
Anyways. All right. Well, you have anything else, friend?
that's it. I don't have anything else. Hope y'all like this episode.
I know. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of You Need a Therapist podcast. Please follow us on Instagram at You Need a Therapist Pod. And then shit, what's our fucking YouTube? I cuss too much.
We both
Whatever.
do, and
I
we
am
don't give
who
a
I
fuck.
am. Oh, what?
I was about to say
You
we don't
Need a
give a fuck,
Therapist
but no.
podcast.
Yeah, that's where you can find it. You need to respond. Put it in the YouTube search engine. We'll pop up. I don't know.
It's in the link tree. I just pressed, I'm sorry. It's in the link tree of the Instagram page where you can find the YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever else you need to
All
find
the
us.
things
But
that you need to
You need
find
to get straight.
the two
You
lovelies.
need a therapist.
yes, keep
Don't you?
supporting us. Rate, review, share, please. Let us know what topics y'all want us to talk about, because child, it's a struggle trying to come up with topics every week. So, and with life. But anyways, we thank y'all for continuing to support us, continuing to help us keep pressing forward. But that's all I got, friend.
That's it for me. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.